Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Florida Panthers Daily. Where is Connor McDavid going to play in 2027? Recently, he was asked, what is his contract negotiations looking like with the Edmonton Oilers? Is it looking like something maybe short term, maybe long term? What's going on there? He made sure to update everybody that all options are on the table, short term, long term, and no term. That was his words. So if you're an Oilers fan, you got to be thinking, man, no term, what does he mean by no term? And usually athletes, if they're thinking about not signing, they're not going to say it because that's going to draw some attention from the media. He actually went and said it. So this is not just a lingering idea. Like, this is very realistic, and probably he's going to leave the Oilers because just within what's being built in Florida right now is just a wagon. It's hard to beat that, and he really is going to need to team up with other guys to compete with the Florida Panthers. Like I've talked about in previous videos, the cap is going up 18 million within the next year or so. So there's going to be a lot of money for a lot of teams to be able to spend to go and sign a free agent like Connor McDavid. There's one team specifically that is a rival of the Florida Panthers that want to beat the Florida Panthers, that live in a no tax income state, that is already well equipped, that has elite goaltending, and that's the Tampa Bay Lightnings. That Tampa Bay seems like they're the perfect fit to sign Connor McDavid. We'll see if that happens. Connor McDavid has 1 year left on his 8-year contract with the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see if he stays. His best friend Leon Draisaitl just signed a long-term extension with the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see what happens when he becomes a free agent. I could expect he's probably either going to not sign at all with Edmonton or sign a short-term deal. But either way, I think there's just within his comments, it'll be interesting to see what he does. If I had to be a betting man, I say he plays somewhere else in the year 2027. Something that was really interesting. I don't know if you guys watched the podcast Empty Netters, really great podcast, but Evan Rodriguez was on it, and he talked about his entrance or his arrival to the parade this past year. Really interesting. He talked about how he actually needed a police escort to go and get to the parade where the meeting point is that's at the Baptist Iceplex. So he had a hotel. He talked about on the Empty Netters podcast that him and the entire team had a team dinner last year after his last year's parade. That was going to be the same thing this year. So he said that instead of dealing with all the traffic and headache going from the parade, which is on A1A, back to his house, he's just going to get a hotel on the beach and stay there for the night. The only issue was at 7:30 a.m. when he went to go and check into the hotel, streets were already closed. It was already a madhouse. So he had difficulty checking into the hotel, almost missed the parade entirely. Thankfully, he didn't. He actually went in the video, talked about how he had a 6-bicycle police escort him to the hotel and to the Baptist Health Iceplex Arena. So he's able to get there on time. But really just super interesting, and there's so many cool different stories that you don't hear about until players get interviewed at a later date. So super interesting to hear about that. Little tidbit, but Erod needed a little bit of help to get to this past year's parade. Transitioning to our next topic here, Brad Marchand. Also within this podcast of Evan Rodriguez, he talked about kind of when Brad Marchand took that next step and kind of officially became a Florida Panther. And when that was at the end of the regular season or the first round of the playoffs when he joined the team. Whenever you join new teams, it's always interesting, and you're learning how that team operates, how that team does things, especially with a guy like Brad Marchand, who was in Boston for so long. And one of the key things that Evan Rodriguez said is the team, the Florida Panthers, they really keep each other accountable. So within keeping each other accountable, they dump the puck in a lot. They do a lot of coaching on themselves. It really went in with Brad Marchand. It kind of clicked to him in the first round of the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Brad Marchand called somebody out for not dumping in the puck properly, and he went and he yelled, and it caught everybody's attention on the bench. They all looked around and looked at him, and in Evan Rodriguez's words, that's when kind of Brad Marchand officially kind of the switch flipped, and he kind of officially became a Florida Panther and really went to a next gear there. And we really saw that within the playoffs is he really became comfortable and started playing better and better and better and played his best hockey with the Florida Panthers as we got later and later and later into the playoffs. So super interesting little fact, something I didn't know. But again, when you're hearing these videos of these athletes getting interviewed, you hear a lot of cool and interesting information. Now moving to our last topic, which is one of my favorite topics, and that is, what is more likely? Is it more likely that Barkov wins the Selke Trophy? Again, he's already won the Selke Trophy 3 times, which is the best defensive forward, or does Bob win another Vezina? I think this is really interesting. It's so hard for me to believe that Barkov wins another Selke, but I think it's even more, far-fetched that Sergey wins a Vezina. I think that Barkov is playing the best he's ever played right now. He's one of the most, elite forwards and elite defensemen. Another guy that I could see him not winning is another Florida Panther, and that's Sam Reinhart winning the Selke. Bob winning the Vezina. I think there's just so many good young goaltenders that are out there, like Hellebuck, like Ottinger, like Olmark, who had a really great year last year, that I don't know if Bob's going to play enough games or do well enough. I know he always has like a little stretch during the regular season to where he's kind of going through some dog days because he's getting a little bit older. So I'd say it's more likely Barkov wins the Selke over Bob winning a Vezina, just because of Bob's a little bit older, and I think he's going to experience some dog days and really prepare, and we're going to rest him for the playoffs, not worry so much about the regular season. I think with Barkov's going to do what he does. He's an elite skater, and he's going to go, and just naturally he's a great defenseman, and he's also a great forward. So I see him winning another Selke over Bob winning another Vezina. Guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Florida Panthers Daily. If you guys like these videos, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.